All right, welcome back, ladies and gentlemen, to map number 2 here on Inferno between Eros and the Gaimin Gladiators. And well, Eros needs to get off to a hot start here, Austin. There's no question in my mind because the Gaimin Gladiators are going to be looking to bring it to them again.
Yes, indeed. The Gaimin Gladiators are looking to put the pain on Eros and finish this one off in a swift 2-0 fashion and look to get themselves a spot at the very least closer to the playoffs. It's not going to be guaranteed for the Gaimin Gladiators. Yeah. Both groups going to have a little bit of a tight spot for the final playoff spots, but the Gaimin Gladiators definitely need this one to give themselves the best opportunity.
Yeah, we'll see what ends up happening with them. If they do find this win, though, I think their last match is against Strife. So that will be, yeah, that's an important one for Strife too, because, well, as you guys already heard, or we talked about earlier, you know, 6E was benched from the roster and they had to replace him. So I don't know what's going to happen with Strife. It's tough to replace one of your starting 5 players at the end of the season where it's so critical to find those map victories. Anyway, let's jump back into this one. Eros up close and personal, and the apartments get one, but only one. JazzPimp swings around, gets the 2K, opens up the space, and now there is one player left on this A site, but Jazz and the Dualies will go down, not without a fight, and George in reality, along with Cynic, close it out. First round goes to GG.
So my initial thoughts there with a double up long haul with the dual Berettas, I'm loving it. My instinct is, okay, this is going to go great for Eros. Yes. This is the perfect play. And then JazzPimp happened. He just rips them apart. And it dashed my dreams of the dual Beretta round against the Rocks, but it just goes to show the level of Gaimin Gladiators right now and how much they just want to finish this one off and knock Eros down again. Gaimin Gladiators are hunting for playoffs. It doesn't matter if you got 4 pistols on 2 players in long haul. One guy is still going to wipe you out. Man, JazzPimp also with that critical playback on Vertigo, definitely coming up clutch for this Gaimin Gladiators side. Didn't have the most kills, but had a ton of impact.
Yeah, JazzPimp is good. I mean, he doesn't have to be that good with everything going so well for the Gaimin Gladiators with Classy there, but I want to get back to the action. Eros have a couple here with the Deagles, and they have really blown this round wide open. Shutout has rotated back towards the B site. JT Mythic has recovered the all-important AK in his hands. That will make it much more difficult for GG to get onto the A site. They realize that, and they're going to double back and hit B, almost certainly, because George is already at the top of Banana. I don't think he's been spotted out. Eros have a good crossfire set up here, but the good news for the Gaimin Gladiators is that rifle that was dropped on the ground is not here. So they're going to smoke off CT. Oh, good spot from George on top of the yellow boxes. Rezi gets smoked out now, so he's going to have to wait for his opportunity to strike. But the site will be taken, and almost certainly the bomb is going to be planted here.
He caught the player playing anti-flash. A little early peek works out. The spam from Rezi on, not going to connect. It's a 3v3 now, and Freshie is down to 20 HP. JT Mythic, though, has picked up the AK, and that is definitely something to keep an eye on. George goes and becomes a chicken murderer. But Eros want nothing to do with this round, and I actually like this a lot.
Yeah.
They have armor, an AK, 2 Deagles. Cut your losses here. Go at it the next round with a decent amount of equipment, really. And on a map like Inferno, this could work out in their favor. We saw what they did top mid this last round. 2 kills for 1. They got a 2-for-1 trade with Deagles just peeking bracket. They could try and do that again, go for a Hall's Peak, stack B. There's a lot of options that saving these guns really opens up for them. And now having JT Mythic with an AK in hand, the possibilities become a lot broader for Eros. That's a good, disciplined call.
Yeah, and I like the decision by the Gaimin Gladiators, right? They could have continued trying to force the issue into bracket. A lot of teams have, but and of course it could have yielded even a worse result than that, right? Eros could have come and stomped them, but they make the adjustment. They go back to the B site. They get that bomb plant. They open up the space, and Eros didn't bring the AK over to B, well, at all. I was going to say in time, but in the end they decided to save. So, all right, Gaimin Gladiators rocking back into this round with SMGs, 3 of them in fact, 2 AKs, make that 1 AK, and the Galil, and they will gain the space up Banana once more. This time Eros don't have any utility to deny the space, but they do have the AK, and JT Mythic uses that to take down Carson in reality. is trying to push up into these apartments. He sees his teammate go into Boiler, but Omniscient's wait on the other end with Rezi, and they will get another one. 5v3 once more on the eco round for Eros. Of course, the AK is helping, but Gaimin Gladiators are going to have to be careful. George, piece once more, drops Omniscient. Rezi with the deagle could have been dangerous, and he has shutout with him. Still haven't found another one, but they've got the crossfire set up here, and Gaimin Gladiators need to make sure they don't get overloaded as they go into this site. Clearing out their angles, watch for the flank. Well played again. They almost looked like they were going to force the issue to the A site this time, but they wait and wait and wait with Cynic watching the flank. He gets 2. The AK's been dropped, and I think they might have thrown it away. Yeah.
Yeah, I think so, and that's a smart move there for the Gaimin Gladiators. Don't give Eros anything more to work with than Mac 10s, and granted, with George on 6 HP and Cynic on 39, the Mac 10 is still going to be plenty deadly. In fact, it might even be worse going up against the Mac 10, because it'll just run and gun and jump around a corner and get you on a couple bits of spray, but that tag onto shutout is going to do a world of good for the Gaimin Gladiators to lock down this round. A lot's going to rest on the shoulders of reality, and he'll try and make it harsh for Eros to bear. Let's see if they can get things done, though, because this is also a round where Eros came in with a couple of saved guns. That's about it. A couple saved eagles, some armor, and that is just about it. Oh, Rezi's getting one on the exit. Cynic will trade it back, but now with shutout getting another kill. It's just economic damage there going against Gaimin Gladiators. Not too shabby at all. For Eros, that's actually quite good.
Yeah, I mean, 2 ecos in a row where Eros have done a lot of economic damage to the Gaimin Gladiators, forcing them to buy up round after round after round. Now, George still has, even after buying up here, probably 4K, and then Cynic's going to, oh, well, 3K, but still, and Cynic has 1.9, but it's a little tough. It's a little tough for the Gaimin Gladiators economic-wise, so Eros have a chance to at least gain some momentum with a potential round victory here, and Rezion is going to have the big green in his hands with 4A1S's surrounding him. Gaimin Gladiators going for that utility battle down Banana, and it looks like they've won it. Eros don't want to fight any further. Freshie committed most, in fact, all of his utility towards that, but everyone else decided to hang on to it and wait for the Gaimin Gladiators to come to them. Interesting setup here for Eros towards the other side. You have Omniscient in the cubby and Rezion waiting right next to him, so they're hoping to at least get a trade should the Gaimin Gladiators come out in that direction.
Trades would still favor the Gaimin Gladiators, though. Eros are going to have to go 2 for 1 if they want to get that one to favor themselves. Rezi's got the op, though. That's back in the Arch Cubby double crossfire. It's always a nice little bait and switch there on Arch and Cubby. But it's so well played and so often played, it's pretty much red almost every time nowadays. Still, it's going to be the A take from the Gaimin Gladiators as time will tick down lower. Great well-timed utility usage, though, from Eros there. So the clock's going to tick down to about 30 before Gaimin Gladiators can theoretically push, but you can always just smoke the Molotov and try and go through it. Time is going to become a factor, and quickly, though. GG have to push. They have some utility prepped from the brackets players. A couple players in halls as well. Reality is going to be flashed in from the looks of things, and they'll try and go open things up and hit this site hard. Now he's going to make his move. There's a smoke on the balcony. He has to be careful, spraying away wildly, and he's running to by a couple of players. There's still one in the mini pit, and he's finally dropped by George. Back on site, is Rezi with the op. He's come up empty. He actually does pick up George in the end there. Barely able to get it in the plant. Will come through in the nick of time. But there's an op for Cynic to be able to use, and you know he's the opper for this Gaimin Gladiators side. He's not going to pick it up, though, right now. He wants to stay on the AK. He wants the multi-kill potential that it offers. And with no utility for the Gaimin Gladiators, it's going to come down to the raw aim. JT Mythic has a Molotov and a flashbang, which is going to make this a little more difficult, especially if Carson gets volleyed out of position in pit. He's out in the open now. Great flashbang. Carson's gone. It's all down to Cynic. He's on cold box. Will spray down one with a headshot. Freshie sprays away and wins that duel. Should have enough time for the defuse as well as he has a kit. And Eros will cut the bleeding early. I believe, yes, just about there in the nick of time.
That's a really good retake, Austin. Sorry, yeah. I mean, that flashbang was perfect, and Eros, despite having what I considered a pretty strong setup on that A site, ended up losing it. And you have one player in mini pit, one on site itself, and one in library. So when all those smokes fly in, the flashes as well, that type of setup is perfect to shut things down when the chaos starts to ensue. So Gaimin Gladiators strong on the take, but could not hang on to. You have to wonder, maybe if Cynic picked up that off, he would have had a little more success, but he's very good with the rifles as well. And well, credit to Eros again for a great flashbang that was thrown to clear him out. First round on the board for Eros, and as mentioned, the economy could get a little tight for the Gaimin Gladiators, but they still had enough to get 2 Galils and 3 AKs, and that opener is going to help immensely because Cynic takes down Omniscient, gains the space into CT, but Rezion pulls out the op and connects on Reality to at least even things out at a 4v4 and give Eros a fighting chance in this round. But again, Eros are losing so much map control, and Rezion again up close and personal this time takes down George. Cynic with the trade on the other side of the map, but they have to move away from this A site, in my opinion, because Rezion is on point right now. And look at the space gained again by Cynic, who finds himself a headshot, but it's Rezion. They can't stop him, and he's got the bomb. Exactly. So Carson's going to have to try and fall back and pick up this bomb. Timing of the essence, and it will actually end up getting it. Rezion does not hold that with the op.
Are they going to go back to A now?
Oh,
yeah, they are.
Wow.
Carson's picked up Rezi, and that's an A side open. Freshie's now in a 1v2. Not quite the 1v1. The 1v1 is a lot easier for Freshie to be able to win. And even now with Cynic up in a window, keeping an eye on things, Freshe's positioning is known. He has to go for the fight, and now he brings it to a 1v1, but look at the health. And look what Carson has as a gun. An op versus a 1 HP AK. It's literally going to come down to one shot. Carson, he could go for the sidearm, but he doesn't know this. He doesn't know that Freshie's been dinked. He's taking fights. He doesn't need to be going around for peaks. And he's going to run into Freshie, who's clutched up 2 rounds in a row. He's been the hero for Eros here, and we talked about it in the halftime. They needed hero plays. And it was Freshie with the pistol round clutch. It's Freshie now with a 1v1 and a 1v2, being the motor for Eros, trying to get them back into the series.
I can't believe he gets that. And honestly, even though you don't know how much damage you've done into a round, there had to have been some comms saying, hey, I tagged him down, I connected on him for quite a bit of damage, I'm sure of it. And that's rough that he goes for the op engagement instead of pulling out the pistol. So, Eros earning that one again, as you mentioned, Freshie clutching it out twice for his squad. And the Gaimin Gladiators do not shy away from a forced buy there. Exactly that, with JazzPimp in reality saving a little bit of money. But the other 3 with 2 Galils and the AK. George going to be spamming through into window room. He's waiting at bridge right now. And the Gaimin Gladiators just hoping for some aggression to come through on the Eros side so they can get that opener. But Eros don't want to play into their hands. They are going to be very passive once more. 3 on that A site in the exact same positioning as we saw before. And then you have the 2 on B waiting for the engagement. Cynic will open up a lot of space towards apartments by taking out Shoutout, but Rezion's the one to be wary of, as he had that 3K with the op in the previous round.
Yeah, without Rezion, this is a much broader scoreline in the favor of the Gaimin Gladiators. At the very least, it's 4-2. It's 4-1. They don't win the last round without Rezion. That is 100% done. I'm sorry, Freshie, but you wouldn't have even been put in that opportunity to be able to win that round if Rezi doesn't do what he did in that last round. So, while Freshie finished it off, Rezi was the setup player.
Oh.
But I love this play. They're able to split down towards B right now.
Yeah.
The Gaimin Gladiators have all this room to work from behind. Freshie's up on top of U-Bucks, though. There's a player in first oranges, so this could definitely work, but will they expect the CT play too? Freshie's got a target-rich environment, but he's tagged under 2 HP. He had a 1v2 with 1. He's going to try it again. JT didn't fell for nothing, but Freshie's able to get another one and bring it to a 1 for a 2v3. And Omniscient's already here, 2v2. Rezi's got the op, and that'll make it maybe a little bit more difficult, especially now that Omniscient's been swung on by George. All down to Rezi now. Can he finish the job? He's been a setup, man. He's got the first, but he needs one more. No utility for either player, no kit for Rezi as well. There should be one somewhere down on the site, at least nearby. Time is ticking, though. There's one kit right in front of Carson. It's all down to the timing. Carson swings. He's swinging back and forth. He'll continue his taps and his bursts, and it will be Rezi to hit the dirt in the end. And it's Carson this time with a clutch for the Gaimin Gladiators to get this one on the board and keep their lead in hand. And now the money gone for Eros. They have nothing to work with. Some pistols will have to do. Gaimin Gladiators escape with the skin of their teeth.
Ooh, yeah, honestly, I was surprised that Eros weren't able to pull that one back. It was so close. What a shot from Rezion. But at the end of the day, Carson peeking around in a situation where he didn't really have to against the op does the damage. And now Carson getting himself 2, almost 3. For Rezion connects with the USP and then gets himself a second one. At least the economic damage comes through. It will be closed out by the Gaimin Gladiators, but that's something at the very least for Eros as they fall there. They will have the A1S upgrades, 4 A1Ss, and the op coming through on the Eros side.
It's a glass cannon op, though. That's one thing to keep in mind. Rezi is a little bit more weak now, as aim punch is a factor, as well as the fact that nades will significantly damage him. Gaimin Gladiators still have a Galil on reality, but everybody else has AKs and plenty of utility. And they're slowing things down a little bit, leaving the bomb back T-ramp, just working around, trying to get some openers. Rezi's finally making his way to arches, but there's a smoke now to wall off his position. He's just going to fade away, leaving Cynic to clear up all of this space and brackets. A boost could come through, though. Getting Omniscient up out top of the smoke could catch them off. They made noise. Surely they know. Surely they're ready. But they haven't been spotted. The smoke's too high. Boost comes for nothing. And now Cynic's got one on Freshie on a backstab. Sprays away on the shutout. Resi's got one. There's still 2 players here. Will they expect that? Probably now as the time has ticked by. But it could just be a save call here from Eros. And as the bomb goes down, the nades fly in. They're probably considering it.
Well, I mean, you do have the Molotov and the 3 smokes, so you can dunk a Molotov onto the A site, maybe push Carson off of it, and try for something, but yeah, they're going to fall off of this. JazzPimp even catches Rezion on the retreat. Then Carson just F1 race car peaks Omniscient with the headshot. Now it's all up to JT Mythic to hang on to his rifle. I think he might be chasing a little too aggressively here. Almost lost 2 players, but luckily for them, JT Mythic does go down, and they find themselves a 6th round on the board. That wasn't Eros buy, so they are back in economic trouble, meaning that you're probably going to see a half buy come through here. A little bit of armor, some pistols, and that's exactly what we're going to get. 4 Deagles and the CZ on the Eros side.
Chance for Gaimin Gladiators to really establish full dominance of this map. 7 rounds on the T side would be absolutely perfect for them. Of course, they'd like the chance to grow it more. They won't be able to replicate their 14-11 or 14-1 half they had on Vertigo, but they'll try and do something similar. Nade stack goes in. JT shut down on Sandbags, but Freshie's been a big performer here on Inferno for Eros, and he's going to try and get a little bit more. George, however, deals with the 2 players B. Pulls a little John G move of his own, taking full control of the B site, and now Gaimin Gladiators can go A, they can go B, both sites are open. It all just comes down to grabbing the bomb and actually going one way or the other, and they are going to commit towards B here.
Yeah, Shadow, the last one standing. Just he will go down.
Just needs a few headshots.
Yeah, George is going to clean him out, though, and that will be that. 7-2 in favor of the Gaimin Gladiators, who have themselves 4-round victories in a row. Eros are back to the rifles now. They could get the op. Wouldn't surprise me if they did, yeah. No reason not to. Rezi does have to sacrifice a little bit of utility, but still has the body armor, and of course the big green. Gaimin Gladiators, 4 AKs, and the A1S coming through here. Definitely keep an eye on Rezion should the Gaimin Gladiators even try to aggress into this A site. Good Molotov thrown deep by Eros to hold off the Gaimin Gladiators at Banana. And now one's going to come right on back, and yeah, that utility battle is again won by the Gaimin Gladiators. Not challenged too much by Eros. That nade connects for only a little bit of damage. I thought it would do more, but it appears to have only clipped Carson's foot. Carson taking the space that's being given to him. And Eros going to have to be very wary now. Players through in towards the arch side, but it's actually JT Mythic taking down Carson, who was peeked a little bit too far down Banana, and Rezion finds JazzPimp.
Still a 3v5 and doable for the Gaimin Gladiators, knowing how they are, but JT Mythic up on top. He gets taken down. Cynic's expecting that. Will he expect a second player to try it, though? Freshie's now the one behind the smoke. He's looking for another victim, and he's gonna fall as well. It's reality this time. 3v3, and this is chaos. How are the Gaimin Gladiators getting these opportunities? How do they expect double up on the first oranges around the smoke? They're just ready for everything, and now as the time ticks away, the utility, the Molotov, particularly of Omniscient, becomes a key factor in this round. How is it used? Is it going to do its job? Is it going to flush them into position? Is it going to burn reality? Smoke down on the side, reality up on top of dark. Omniscient will finish off George, but reality from low HP will spray down one. Both players down below half. Reality in the red. Resi has the op. Cynic with the M4. Cynic could rather Cynic shut out the M4. Reality gets a wallbang headshot.
No.
Knife! He got a knife! He got a freaking knife to win it in the end. That's a birthday present and a half, eh, Reality? Oh my gosh.
He didn't have to. He didn't have to do him like that, Reality. But, well, realizing the situation, the player was flashbanged and spotted him out. I think he was reloading too. Either way, Gaimin Gladiators take it.
Out of ammo.
Yeah, exactly. 8-2 in their favor. It's such a shame for Eros because they had the two-man advantage right at the beginning of the round, and the Gaimin Gladiators just punched their way through to the B site. And once they have all that control, it's very tough for the CTs to come back through and clear out all those angles, especially when they're all stacked up towards the back of site with limited utility, of course. So, Gaimin Gladiators find a way once more. It's going to be back to the pistols for Eros, looking for Eagle Magic once more, but JazzPimp, oh, what a spot. Freshie had no chance. Georgians go down to 20 here, but JazzPimp's going to keep pushing forward. He finds himself a second, and that's the B site taken here by the Gaimin Gladiators. Omniscient's hovering around towards CT spawn. He might go down here, and he does. Carson finds him. Cynic drops Rezion, leaving only shutout, who has just given away his positioning. This is done and dusted. 9-2 in favor of the Gaimin Gladiators.
Flawless anti-half-buy there, too, from the Gaimin Gladiators. Exactly what they want to do. And they did that back on Vertigo as well. Timeout called by Eros here. 9-2, though. It's definitely starting to get to too little too late territory right now, as they are on the CT side of Inferno, and it is their stronger side. Granted, neither side for Eros is particularly strong, but it's becoming rougher and rougher with every passing round. And right now for the Gaimin Gladiators, a lot of this is just brute force winning rounds. It's nothing pretty. It's nothing in the tactical vein. It's just, all right, who wants to be the guy to rip the heads off the opponents this time?
Pretty much. And that's their style of play, though, too, right?
Yep, it is.
Not that they can't play strategically. They certainly can. It's just that they oftentimes prefer to go for that more puggy, individualistic style if the opponent allows them to do it. And right now, Eros isn't really responding in a way that the Gaimin Gladiators have to make adjustments. They're going to continue to go for these fights. Freshie does find one on George, who was fully flashed by JT Mythic, but JazzPimp again gets 1 and 2. Lines up Rezion right after he finds Omniscient. So that's the man advantage again, stolen away by the Gaimin Gladiators. Eros doing a good job to find the first one, but they just cannot hang on to these man advantages. And usually you're setting yourself up for like a 70+% chance of coming out with a round victory when you get this strategy. But for Eros, it's been anything but. JT Mythic, good shot on Carson. But still a 3v3.
3v2 now, as JazzPimp finally finished off. He will no longer have a reign of terror from 6 HP. Freshie, though, behind card. What a shot from Cynic. I love how we got to see that from Freshie's perspective, because what do you do against that? There's nothing you can do. Just sees the guy. Oh, I'm dead. Cool. Guys, it's B. And now reality gold card. Get one. Sprayed down very low by shutout. Nade will not finish him off, though, and shutout's going to swap guns back and forth. They're both here towards Banana, too. They both want to make sure shutout cannot get a fight against one of them. He might get one kill, but all he'll get is one. 2 rounds still for Eros. A 10 for the Gaimin Gladiators. They have plenty of money, plenty of rounds, plenty of momentum. Not to mention they already won the first map, so really, for the Gaimin Gladiators, life's looking pretty sweet for you right now.
Yeah. Eros haven't exactly been out of this, right? They've been competitive in every round. It's just, can you stop the individualistic play from the Gaimin Gladiators? Every single player has come out with critical frag. JazzPimp was just the latest one, but Cynic at 16 leads the board, and George at 12 right behind him. So here's another opening frag for Eros. Third round in a row that they found it. A second one comes through. 5v3, we've seen this fall apart before for them. Let's see if they can hang on this time and at least get themselves a third on the board. JT Mythic is charging up. He will have an interesting flank here. I think he should be able to spot out Cynic as he turns this corner from bridge, and he absolutely does. So that's a free frag should he choose to get it, but he decides against it. He wants this huge flank advantage. The thing is, if the Gaimin Gladiators push in at this moment, this flank is all for naught. Turn, they don't, and it's a free frag for JT Mythic. In fact, a 2K. I don't know how he got JazzPimp before Carson there, but okay, JT. Cynic, the last one standing.
Yeah, I think that one was more... He was aiming at Carson, but he sprayed down JazzPimp, but his crosshair was a little lower, so he gets the end shot. The finishing, it's just, I guess a little bit of luck goes the way of JT, but he deserved that. That's Lady Luck rewarding you for playing smart. So third round on the board now for Eros, only losing one player. Cynic's got the op now, though, and he'll try and get an opening pick towards mid, presumably. 10-3, though. Even if it's 10-5, the Gaimin Gladiators are more than happy with the half they put on the board. And for Eros, it's allowing 10 rounds as it is not good. So they're going to have to recover something big. And yeah, Cynic's ready for this push. They got to be careful.
He forgot his gun. He had to jump back into T-spawn. He's like, wait a second. I can get more than a Glock out of this round. He will go back to grab that, but it stalled out his team a little bit. You see Carson down to 13 HP as a result. But Gaimin Gladiators going for a more patient approach this time around. JazzPimp greeted by a chicken around the corner. And he will just leave that chicken to his own devices as he moves up and looks to take control of mid. There's 2 players down mid for the Gaimin Gladiators and 2 down alt mid.
Slow and steady from the Gaimin Gladiators, and nothing given over for free by Eros. They're playing rather disciplined right now, back on their sides. I guess now they're starting to get a little antsy towards Car, but that's understandable given their sound towards A. They've seen nothing on B. Freshie's going to continue to push down, and Cynic looks to be watching for a push from behind. But the nade will pick up Carson. That's a trade, though, as Freshie was caught on the rotation down Banana. But that could also throw things into confusion for Eros, as now they have to consider maybe Gaimin Gladiators are going to go back towards B. Still, JT Mythic up on half wall, keeping an eye on things. Gives the confidence over to the Eros side, hold their line. Spray from Omniscient doing some damage. Not quite a kill, and he's going to get spammed down from reality through that smoke. The Tracer's traced right back. Cynic Molly's shut out into a crisp.
Oh, no.
And he'll even do one better on a Rezion. All down to JT Mythic on rotation from B. 1v4, save your AK, my friend, and try again in round number 15, because round number 14 is not going your way.
Oh, jeez. They just couldn't connect on their shots, even through the smoke. You know, they were almost lucky to find one, but it was reality who followed the Tracers and ended up getting that one for himself instead. So, the Gaimin Gladiators, I mean, also Cynic gets a 3K. Obviously that helps on the entries towards A, but Gaimin Gladiators is going to find themselves an 11th and looking to make it 12-3 now. Buy up should be okay for Eros because the loss bonus is still hanging up there, I believe at 2,900. The AK as well, yeah, they'll be fine here.
They will be fine, if you can call 11-3 fine.
Yeah, just with the buy up, not with the score, that's for sure.
Yeah, they'll get a buy here, that's for sure. But again, that score line, it's rough. It's not pretty at all. It's very, very daunting. And a 12-3 is even worse than an 11-4. Omniscient nades down towards Mexico, follows it up. JazzPimp gets tagged a little bit by, but Omniscient can get the stomp on him. Will indeed, and there's no trade back just yet. He's done half damage onto Carson, who's working around that smoke. Catches him on the reload, and will trade it back. 4v4 to start. He goes aggressive with the op, though, but he's not going to land that shot. In the meantime, George drops Omniscient, or rather shutout. Cynic's picked up Rezion. It's all down to Freshie and JT Mythic. The B players are out here on the map, and Carson's going for one taps. Hits one, not the second. Cynic's going to hold the line. Bomb's going to go down on A, but whatever comes first is the kill from Cynic. 12-3 at the half. We'll hit the break.
All right, we're back here, folks. Second half of action, and another daunting scoreline for Eros to have to stare down on. 12-3 in favor of the Gaimin Gladiators. Competitive by Eros. The scoreline doesn't really tell the whole story, but the Gaimin Gladiators were just holding down W in a lot of cases and bringing the fight to Eros. And now opening things up is going to be George with one, but Freshie responds immediately, and some space gained by Eros. Carson dropped two, and this B side has been taken. There is this nade for Cynic. He's just trying to find the right time to throw it, and JazzPimp wants to even things out of the 3v3 by isolating his player towards alt mid, and well, he at least keeps him at bay and will now go for the retake with his teammates. Two coming from CT, and himself from Banana. JT Mythic dropping Cynic though, and now it's all up to JazzPimp in reality. We've seen JazzPimp clutch in these situations before, and well, he's gonna have to get all four now. Players closing in on him from all angles, and Rezion ends it. Eros pick up a first round victory here as the half kicks off.
Well, it's going back to Vertigo, where Eros won the pistol round, so everything stays par for the course here. They're going to try and put the pressure on a little more on the Gaimin Gladiators. A 12-3 is a lot more doable. They'll make a comeback from than 14-1. They've done the right start. Gaimin Gladiators actually got a late force buy into this one. JazzPimp with a UMP, Carson with a Deagle, Cynic will CZ this one. CZ for reality is 1 of 5-7 for George. Plenty of utility as well, which is always nice to see. We'll see if they're going to be able to do anything out of this one. Bomb down outside of bedroom. Eros looking pressure towards A, throwing in that early utility. No real aggression here from the Gaimin Gladiators, though, kind of going against their usual what you'd expect play. But they are stacking heavily towards A, and it's the right read because Eros are all packed up and ready to push. They're starting to file into brackets. Carson's Deagle is ready to find some heads.
Carson just jiggle peeking back and forth here from Arch. Will be a critical piece in this round should Eros decide to push down this side, but instead they're stacking up truck side. All right, two players for the Gaimin Gladiators waiting here, and waiting is exactly what they got to do. Comes to the crossbar. Unfortunately, a reload for Cynic at a terrible time, and reality will end up only getting one as JT Mythic plants the bomb and Eros just storm onto that bomb site. In fact, I'm not sure if it was a reload or a weapon switch, but either way, Cynic, some bad timing on his side.
Yep, that's kind of what we saw in the beginning of Vertigo, too, that second half, where timing just wasn't working for the Gaimin Gladiators, and Eros were able to get all the momentum they needed. They were able to get their space, they were able to do whatever they wanted, and now Gaimin Gladiators going to save these two guns, the two pistols, and the armor, and the utility, too, with George on a full belt. That's a lot of utility that can be shuffled around or even just kept on himself alone. Eros going to go for a bit of a hunt here. I don't think they should extend too far. Not worth losing the rifles for the potential of taking out a pistol player. Definitely not a good return on investment there, especially when you consider the risk aversion that they should have to losing a rifle for nothing. They won't go too far in the end. They'll keep all four rifles, the two AKs and the two Galils. 5.7 still there and might get dropped over. We'll see how the guns and pistols get shuffled around on the Gaimin Gladiators. Another 5.7 comes out. And a couple of nades, but that's about it for GG. This should be another round for Eros, unless they drop a couple rifles over to the CT side. And with those rifles, Gaimin Gladiators can turn the tide.
Nice nade thrown there. Connects on George, gets him down to 57, and while the Gaimin Gladiators are on just the pistol buy-up, as you mentioned. Nade gonna get tossed here. Does a decent chunk of damage to Omniscient, getting him below half health. And now after throwing that nade, well, looks like Cynic's just gonna hightail it over to the A site, stack up with his teammates, and hope for another truck side push, because this is exactly what the Gaimin Gladiators are set up for. Thing is, Eros, perhaps reading it well, are gonna head towards Arch side instead, and the bomb towards B could indicate that they're gonna try and pincer attack onto the B side, but no, they're gonna surround A. And now it's up to the Gaimin Gladiators to hit these shots. Cynic with the CZ could do the most damage here. Should he catch him off guard? Freshie already cleans the clock of JazzPimp, then Rezion jumping down, finds reality. Omniscient says, you know what, Cynic? I don't care what gun you have in your hand. I've got a bullet with your name on it, and takes him down. That will leave only George and Carson standing, and they will just retreat off of this. There's no chance for them.
No chance at all, and it's a mirror of the last round, although there'll be full buys from the Gaimin Gladiators following this one. I don't know if they'll have an op, though. That is the question. George might be able to get one. Let's see. Should be getting, what, 3,400? Yeah, George, I think, should be able to get an op into the next round for Cynic. Other than that, though, it'll be rifles across the board for the Gaimin Gladiators. And Eros, they've had rifles for a while. Ooh, Omniscient's got to be careful here. No point losing the Galil to a P2000 of all things. And he should survive here. Yes, he will. George will not drop the op to Cynic, though. Instead, they'll opt for utility. An unusually disciplined approach from the Gaimin Gladiators. We'll see if it pays off well. Full M4A1s for the CT side, whereas Eros have AKs and Galils shuffled through the lineup. Plenty of utility for them, though. We'll see if Eros can get this next round on the board. If Gaimin Gladiators are able to win this first gun round, that's when the momentum shifts back to them, and they can take full control of this matchup. But if Eros can start building now, they can close that gap more and more. The closer they get to Gaimin Gladiators' score before GG actually post a round on the board, the easier it'll be for Eros to take Inferno.
Well, the Gaimin Gladiators with full-on buy-ups are no slouches, as we saw both in that previous map and in the first half here. Utility's going to pop on through, and Eros are going for the quick hit. I'm not sure this is a good idea. They don't lose one yet. There we go. JazzPimp finds Omniscient. Reality gets shut out, and now this A site becomes that much more difficult to take. They need some nutty shots, and Rezion at least gets one. Reality pulls the nade at the wrong time, but they don't peek for him. Rezion still gets one, and then JT Mythic finds Reality. That's a 3v2. Eros are so lucky to get into this A site with a man advantage, but now George gets the touchdown on Rezion. Carson finds Freshie, leaving only JT Mythic up against George now, and George wins the fight. Absolutely pandemonium on that hit by Eros, back and forth 3 times, but it is the Gaimin Gladiators to find their first round.
I don't know how that went back and forth so many times, but it did. And the Gaimin Gladiators have to be thanking their lucky stars so they're able to come away with that round victory. John, we see Cynic with his favorite gun ever to exist. He's picked up the Negev. And, well, he'll try and work it. Looks like it's going to be towards B. This is actually a really good spot to use it, but they're going to run into Carson anyways. The Negev might not even be able to ring out, and honestly, it's kind of a shame. Let's just let it go.
Oh, Carson's going to just push right into a Molotov. Use it, and oh, Freshie was waiting. Despite being flashed by his teammate there, he will get Carson. And, well, it doesn't really matter at the end. Cynic does use the Negev to great effect. Finds Freshie, leaving only Rezion standing at the bottom of Banana. And, ooh, Cynic got a little too excited with the Negev now. Rezion happy for the free frag. Round towards McFit, flashbang. Peek into it, and oh, Rezion goes for the no-scope, can't connect. JazzPimp finds him with the MP9 and instantly picks up the op. 14-6 for the Gaimin Gladiators. And again, Eros, after a hot start in their second half, are falling short.
Yeah, I think they've been dropped into the pond on B site, man. Their fire's gone. It's cooled off, it's extinguished. And right now, Gaimin Gladiators have all the advantage. Cynic's upgraded from a Negev to an op, a mildly significant upgrade. Maybe like what you might see from an SMG to a rifle. You know, no big deal. It's like the op's a one-shot killing machine or anything. Over the Negev's well-known attributes. The op, though, not going to find anything just yet. It's rotating back around towards Moto, but it's a smoke execute coming in on A from Eros, and they're going to try their luck here. It's so telegraphed, though. 4 players are here from Gaimin Gladiators. Oh my gosh, how's he got away with that? How've they not found him? Reality's up on balcony as well. It's all down to shutout. He's got nothing but a P250 and a prayer. And now the ball. And an M4, but it comes to nothing. And JazzPimp just lurking in that smoke, man.
You gotta be careful with those smokes. You can't just overlook them like Eros did. Yeah, you just spam it. Do something. If you spam it and you see some blood splatter, you hear a shot connecting on a body. Oh well. Eros now have to win 9 in a row to push this one to overtime. They will have 4 AKs and the Deagle. Rezion's already taken down to 26. Cynic is engaging. He gets himself down to 43 HP with JazzPimp. Right there, Rezion will at least fall. JT Mythic gets the P, but look at the damage done on Omniscient and JT Mythic, down to only 13 HP combined. Shutout does get one before falling, but it's JazzPimp to get the 2K and make things much more viable for the Gaimin Gladiators. It is a 2v2, but the HP for Omniscient, who's now dead, was a bit of a problem. Shutout, last one standing. A lot of space to gain here onto this A site. There is a big problem though, Austin. And that problem is the bomb isn't on his back. If Carson pushes down Banana and goes towards T-spawn, he will be able to spot out this bomb. I don't think he's going to, because Gaimin Gladiators only have 2 players left, but yeah.
Yeah, John, there was definitely a major problem when they were both split up, hitting site simultaneously, and the bomb was sitting on T-ramp. But with that pick on this JazzPimp, maybe Shutout has an option here. He's gone back for the bomb, but I like how Carson's taking this aggressive angle. He knows that it has to not be on A, because it would have been planted already. Should have been spotted, and Shutout won't clear the angle. Carson will finish the job in the end. And, well, Gaimin Gladiators are going to be able to finish this one yet again. Nothing Eros can do. And it's just Gaimin Gladiators playing how they do, pushing in the pressure and winning those aim duels.
Yeah, it was